Guys, welcome back to Beyond. It's getting weird out there. It's getting very weird in day to day with the fuel shortage and whatnot. But yeah, the energy crisis is definitely a flow-on effect from the Iranian war. And obviously Donald Trump, he's just sort of come in breaking news saying he wants to postpone the attack on Iran. So he bit of a taco Trump there, but I just wanted to show you guys this video on the sort of situation that we're going through. You know, rationing fuel, working from home. Are we gearing towards an energy breakdown or lockdown, so to speak? So yeah, let's get into this video and see what you think.
And came on the radio about this like meningitis outbreak thing. I don't know if you've been keeping up with that. Down at a university in Kent, it's kind of gone mad apparently, and there's loads of people now that have been testing positive. But it made me think of COVID all over again. Like, are people ill? They say a couple of people have died, but are all the numbers they're talking about, are they ill, or is it just a case of the you know, a pandemic of testing, essentially? And as I understand it, the meningitis B bacteria is at the back of a lot of people's throats a lot of the time. So surely if you're testing loads of people, you're going to get loads of positives. But what it feels like to me, at least at this moment in time, and I might be wrong, it might go mad, is that this sort of just feels like they're almost testing the water a little bit in terms of the media portrayal of it and stuff, that it's kind of, it's not quite being pushed into like this big, enormous Wuhan craziness, but almost they're just testing the water. They're seeing how people react to it, and then maybe they'll make a decision from there in terms of where they want to go with it, whether they want to, you know, blow it up or whether they want to just let it fade away. And I guess we'll find out. But the idea, of course, of having something that creates a fear, that creates potentially a need for lockdowns, or at least for isolation, a need for pharmaceuticals. They've already started the vaccine rollout, of course. I don't think that should be underestimated in terms of their desire to do that and their ability to do that. And don't forget Bill Gates, you know, the next one will get attention comment. I haven't forgotten that. So I'm sure there'll be something along any minute, whether it's this or whether it's something else further down the line, I don't know. Just find it interesting listening to the radio and hearing the rhetoric. It's bringing back memories. It's like trauma from 2020. But the next story on from that was talking about Iran, of course, and it's saying how our energy bills here in the UK, bear in mind we pay the most in the world anyway already, are going to go up again by £300 a year and potentially even more than that because of this war, and if it carries on going and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, fair enough, heard it all before. It's what they do. They create these problems that they don't pay for, we, the people, pay for. I've got these two guys staring at me. What's it going? You okay? Yeah. This is pretty, see, this is why I like the countryside, see. How you doing, buddy? You okay? Oh, Jesus wept. Scared me more than him, I think. But yeah, of course, you know, they create these wars, they create lots of money out of it, lots of death, lots of destruction, lots of ability to bring in legislation, lots of ability to change the maps, lots of ability to do lots of things, drag people down to their knees in terms of rising energy costs, whatever, right, you know, raising the taxes to cover the spending and all this sort of stuff. Like, there's all these different things they get out of it that we don't get out of it. But then they said something interesting. Bearing in mind, the previous story is talking about this meningitis outbreak with a similar kind of tone, a similar sort of rhetoric to the COVID era. Then they said that the government is now looking at options in terms of rationing fuel, in terms of lowering speed limits so that we use less fuel when we drive, and then work from home orders. Not quite stay-at-home orders, but work-from-home orders, which is, of course, what happened in that COVID era. And we've started to move out of that. Like, the work-from-home thing became normalised through that, and then it stayed. Well, recently, in the last maybe 18 months, companies have started getting their workers back in again. Well, they don't want that. They want you sat in your home watching Bargain Hunt. They don't want you travelling. They don't want you flying. They don't want you driving and all this kind of stuff. So when they started talking about, you know, work from home orders, I thought to myself, oh, mate, I wonder, I wonder. And the thing is as well, it doesn't necessarily need to be orders, because of course they can say to you, right, you're not allowed to drive. And you can go, well, that's a bit draconian. What do you mean? Or what they can do is they can make it unaffordable to drive. That's not an order for you to not drive. They're not telling you can't drive. You can drive as much as you want, mate. It's just the fuel prices are astronomical, or your road tax is astronomical, or your car tax, or your insurance, or the cost of a car in the first place, or your, ultra low emission zone taxes whenever you want to go to certain places. They're not telling you can't drive. You can drive as much as you want, son. You just can't afford to. So therefore, you're not doing it. Well, it's the same result then, isn't it? One will get a bit more pushback because you'll go, you can't tell me I can't do this. Whereas the other one, they might get a little bit of pushback here and there, and like, rising taxes and fuel prices, whatever. But they always find an excuse for that. We have to do it. It's the war in Iran. It's Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Whatever it is, they find an excuse for it. But the end result is the same, which is a kind of lockdown in a way, isn't it? Because, especially if you live remote like me, if you can't drive, you can't travel. And if you can't travel, well, then you're at home, aren't you? So again, they can say to you, right, you've got to stay in your house. Stay at home orders, not just work from home orders, stay at home orders. In which case, you go, hang on a minute. But if they make it unaffordable for you to drive, well, then what are you going to do? Stay at home, aren't you? Because you can't afford to go out and about. I mean, you can afford to walk around your village. I don't think they're that bothered about that. It's the travelling, it's the going to certain different places and meeting different people in different areas and discussing and realising that actually we're all being screwed in the same way. And actually what's happening in my town or village or my country isn't an anomaly. This is happening everywhere. Just in the last couple of days, we've had this whole vote in the UK to decriminalise and therefore legalise abortion up until the point of birth and even during birth for any reason, like I don't want a boy, sorry. Well, as insane as that is, and like evil and demonic as that is, that came in other countries already. That came in New Zealand under Ardern to build big bidder, came in under her during the whole Rona time. So again, everything's happening in all these places at the same time. That's not a coincidence. We're supposed to believe you've got different democracies, different governments, different rules. No, they're all the same, mate. So I do wonder, just those two stories, like I say, I was literally just driving and walking back to the road now to my car. Just back to back, from the meningitis outbreak and what potentially can come from that real COVID-y vibe about it, straight into the cost of energy and fuel at the petrol pump, and how there may be stay-at-home or work from home, orders, and you're like, I've seen this movie before, and it was crap. So I'm not really up for the sequel.
Thank you very much for watching and subscribing to my YouTube channel.
Yeah, there you go, guys. So you can obviously see the parallels between the meningitis outbreak in the UK and then obviously COVID that we had a couple of years back, and how he's saying he doesn't want to repeat that sort of cycle of, problem, reaction, solution. It's that typical narrative, cyclical narrative that just keeps operating. And obviously now that they're trying to make energy prices such as fuel go up, how far up we're not sure, but it's already quite high at the moment. And so they're not sort of banning us to travel, so to speak. They're just making it unaffordable to the point where we will choose not to go and venture out to travel or to go to even work via a vehicle at some points. Even I know some people even today, I was noticing going to work, people are starting to not drive. They are catching public transport, buses or trains, and even riding bikes. I saw heaps of people on bikes on the way to work this morning. So it's very clear to me that this is just them trying to make things harder for the everyday sort of person, and it's very clear to me that it's the same playbook that they will continue to use time and time again, to make people feel as though that they have no other choice but to, either stay at home or just not even use their vehicle, and use their freedom, that they, have the right to have, which is just wrong. But what do you guys reckon? Comment down below, like and subscribe. Is he on the money? What have you been witnessing, and what are you what are you choosing, going forward, in terms of transportation and, getting prepared for I you know a catastrophic event to happen? But I'll see you guys in the next one.